Welcome to the podcast. We're on with
Thank you.
Kelsey. Kelsey is our favorite mom influencer on social media. We have a mom group chat, and we always just send around her videos. So she's very relatable, hilarious. Just it makes you feel very
Seen.
seen in your parenting, right? So for people that don't know you, can you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure, I'm Kelsey. I'm a stay-at-home mom. Well, recently stay-at-home mom. I was a labor and delivery nurse turned stay-at-home mom of two, almost three. And I just started on social media, just kind of sharing my inner thoughts, which somehow people actually relate with. So that was a good thing, else that would have been really bad. But yeah, I just kind of I'm married to a beautiful man who's a firefighter, and so that schedule is a whole nother monster that I deal with. But from the day in and day out, it's just a lot of chaos every day. Yep.
How did you first decide that you wanted to start creating these videos? Like what inspired you in, sharing your thoughts with everybody?
Well, I was on TikTok early in like 2021. I would just kind of follow the trends and do like silly little voiceovers. And then it wasn't until I started actually talking to the camera and like sharing my thoughts on motherhood or like sharing a funny story that it actually resonated with people. And that's when I kind of built my following on TikTok. And then Instagram always intimidated me because, you always see just aesthetic moms on Instagram with just pictures. There's no videos really. The reels weren't anything that was like, that I felt like I could relate to, but I had some gal from college was like, I like following you, but I don't have TikTok. Like, can you start an Instagram? I was like, okay, I'll start an Instagram. And that's where everything kind of took off. So that was, you guys are unhinged moms on Instagram, which is beautiful. So yeah, like I said, it's just a nice outlet for me. I was a stay-at-home mom as well, somewhere to share my thoughts and my like I said, funny stories or weird inner dialogues that no one ever talks about.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
totally.
It's so nice to hear it out loud, these things
Yeah.
that people are thinking, but no one's saying.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yep.
Yeah, for us, that's always like, I guess when you are not a mom, like you don't even think about it, and then you become a mom, and you're like, wait, why
Yes,
did nobody talk about this, or why did nobody say
exactly.
this?
yeah.
And I want to
And it's
talk about
weird.
it.
Yeah, exactly. It
Hmm.
needs to be more like everybody needs to talk
Open.
about it. There's
Yes.
just so much.
Prepare you for what's
Yeah,
coming.
exactly.
We're
There's
all
no way to.
thinking it. We're all thinking it. I can just
Exactly.
say it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, people are almost just like embarrassed to say it, and
Yes.
so that's kind of why I think she shared. We every day, I swear, somebody sends a video of you in our like Instagram mom chat, and it's just like, oh my gosh, she hit it on the head. Like how this is exactly what I think every day. So
Yeah.
it's pretty.
So you're obviously doing all these videos. You're a stay-at-home mom, as you mentioned, of two while
Hmm.
pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're advertising on Instagram. You're promoting products. You're doing all your videos. How do you find the time to do it all? And you're homeschooling your oldest. Like
Yes. Correct.
how do you do it?
So I've always viewed this side of things as just like a side hustle. If I have time for it, wonderful. The other stuff always comes first. And
Yeah.
honestly, my videos come from like an instant thought. Like if I'm like in the middle of something, if I have a moment, I'm like, I'm gonna just go really quick, record that. And so I just do it real quick and post it. But I never try and hold myself to any like number per week or things like that. And I think that's what's kept it kind of authentic for me. Like I'm not trying to. This is just a side hustle for me. If something happens from it, wonderful. But if not, like I'm here for a good time, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so it really is like that's how it comes across. Is it's just like
You're doing it for fun.
you're
Yeah.
genuinely
Yes.
like that funny, like entertaining, and it's like off the top of your head. That's so
Yeah.
impressive
Are
to
you
me.
recording these videos in like one take? It's just you say it.
Most of the time, and that's why I think I've also been able to maintain because I feel like a lot of the moms that do skits and stuff, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work to come up with your materials and like your editing. And I'm lucky that mine is just me just blabbing to the camera, yapping my yapper. And maybe I have to do one or two takes and maybe edit like a cuss word out, but for the most part, I can usually just post right away. So because I wouldn't have the time for that otherwise with
Oh,
all this
wow.
stuff going on.
We like
Yeah.
when you have the cuss words in. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
It makes it because everyone's always like, "Oh, you probably need to tone that down now that your daughter like is repeating words that you
Mm-mm.
say," and it's just not. It's just a part of my
My
personality.
daughter
So.
can swear with the best of them. I know I shouldn't be proud of that, but she uses it grammatically correct, and I'm like, okay, like she can use it perfectly in a sentence. But
Oh my
yeah,
love that. um, so let's see. You said you're having a third kid.
Yes.
We have found moms that have 3 kids, like they have got something figured out. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We like to hang out with parents of 3 kids. They're
Yes.
they're chill. They've got it going on. Moms
Yes.
of 1, you're still on edge. You're stressed. You're very anxious. 2, it's just chaos and you haven't quite figured out how to thrive in it. And 3, you're just like, it's a shit show, but you're just
Yep.
sitting there drinking wine and you're just fantastic.
Yeah,
So
you have to.
what do you feel like you've really,
How have you gotten
have
there?
you cracked the code? What's your
Yeah.
motherhood advice to get there?
I've cracked 0 codes. Like, I just call it's a shit show, but it's my little shit show, and it is what it is. Like, all my friends have 3 kids too, so I've seen them kind of work it out. No, I have absolutely nothing figured out, and every single day I'm trying a new little tweak in the parenting technique, and that usually doesn't work. I'm gonna wing it. I'm gonna wing it really hard and hope it goes well. It'll be fine, but yeah, I think with 3 kids, you kind of just surrender a little bit, and you're like, whatever happens, Jesus, take the wheel, because I have no control over this kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the hard part for us.
Yes.
We're like, I don't think I could add another one. That would be so much more chaos. But then you just learn to do it, right?
I mean, my youngest is pure chaos, so I was like, it's already chaotic. It's just going to like supplement the chaos a little bit. And I'm hoping that this third one is the unicorn. I'm due for a unicorn,
Yeah.
So
You have
we'll
to,
see.
right?
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
be given too much. It's got to be a good baby, you would think.
Yeah, we'll see. Not a bad
Did
baby that commits crimes and stuff. We don't want that. No.
Did you guys always know you wanted 3, or it just kind of like happened naturally?
No, we've always kind of said 2. We like the idea of a big family. My husband, I'm not going to lie, my husband's kind of like, I would have been happy with 2. He's like, we could do 3. It's not like my first choice, but we can do 3. So he's definitely nervous. He doesn't love the newborn stage. The dads don't really like bond with the newborns. They're just like, they're crying a lot. They don't want anything to do with me. And so he's not very much looking forward to that part. But as far as for me, the 3 kids, I just knew I wasn't done. Right after my second, I was like, well, I'm in trouble, because instantly I knew like I want another one. Now I need to like wrap my head around to that, because I'm not the youngest. 34, not terribly young, terribly old. But yeah, the idea of a big family. I wanted to give my oldest daughter a sister. Like, you guys are sisters. You guys know. I never had a sister growing up, and I'm like, I feel like, or a sibling, another sibling. And it's been really fun with her, because she understands like what's going on with the pregnancy, and she's like excited about the little things. So it's kind of fun to, yeah. And I mean, our parents eventually leave us, and our siblings are who are with us for the rest of our lives. So adding one more was like, yeah, I want to do that.
You make such a good case for 3.
Seriously.
Oh,
you really
don't tell your
hear
husband. It's not my fault.
Like, shit, you're right.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I don't think I'm doing more. Everyone always says 3 is the gateway to 4, but I think I gotta throw in the towel. Yeah.
I'm interested to see how you feel after 3 and see if it is in fact the gateway to 4.
I'm trying to wrap my head around just like accepting, like, okay, I think we're gonna be done after this. We're gonna close up shop and get ahead while we can, and just we'll see though. Who knows?
Yeah, it's definitely a whole different ballgame too when you're like, it's your last baby and it's your last baby too, and like, all of those milestones are now your last. And
I'm going all out. I'm not gonna lie. We just painted a mural in the nursery, and I've got some new furniture. Like, nothing the first 2 ever had.
Right.
But yeah, it's the last one. We think.
Yeah. Really get to appreciate it, and feel like you're not as stressed out as the first part. You know what to do, and so now you just get to enjoy the little moments. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I know like recently over the last couple of years, people have talked a lot about like postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression. Have you ever experienced that with either of your kids? Because I know a lot of people don't talk about it as much, I feel like, as they should.
Sure. I was lucky enough to not have any postpartum depression, but I definitely had a lick of the anxiety. Undiagnosed, but it was very much evident. It's hard with the first, and it was during COVID. I think I had her like 2 weeks before we shut down everything. So I was like, oh my God, no one could hold my baby. And it was just, the anxiety was real. I never got medicated for it, but it was definitely something that was a real thing. And with the second, not so much. Definitely the first though.
Yeah, that's crazy timing during COVID.
Yes. Yeah, it was isolating and all that stuff. But it can be a rough time postpartum, and you never know what's going to come. Like the third one could hit me like a rock. You never know. Yeah.
Wow.
And also, I'm interested to get your thoughts on like we've been having this debate kind of about new moms and the support from their husband and how big of a factor that plays into it is, you know, how supportive your husband is and how,
It changed your motherhood experience.
yeah.
Oh, it absolutely does. Yeah.
And it seems
Um,
like you have a phenomenal relationship with your husband, very, very
I do.
supportive. And, you know, are there any tips and tricks you have for, you know, adapting together in this
Yeah.
parenting journey? Because it
Just
obviously,
so much talking that you can't talk anymore. Like communicating. My poor husband, I communicate probably more than I need to. Like he's just like, we could just leave this one. I'm like, no, I want to talk about it. There's nothing that's ever unspoken in our relationship, which, like I said, good, bad, but it leads to arguments. But I think arguments lead to growth, and it from there you get solutions and things like
Yeah.
that. Um, but that was one of the things when before I married him, I knew I was gonna get a 50-50 partner, someone that wasn't going to want to like, hide away from responsibilities or avoid changing a diaper, you know, weaponized incompetence, all that stuff. So I got very lucky on that front. But I do think it's coming down to I'm a boss bitch, as in like I know what I want, and I'm like, and he does too. So we hash it out, and we figure out what works for both of us and our parenthood journey. And it's changing always. Like we were just bickering about 30 minutes ago about the clutter on the counter, like whose fault it was. That doesn't help anyone. But yeah, it's just always just a communication and constantly changing things to adapt because our kids are absolutely chaotic. So it takes, some regrouping every so
Yeah.
often and things like that. Yeah.
Over communication, being on the same team.
Over communication. I mean, and I think a lot of women are scared to approach their husbands because their husbands aren't supportive, which that's a whole nother story. Like, never know what's the ins and outs of people's marriage, abusive situations and like narcissistic behaviors. And, there's always the possibility of those things, but just being able to come to your husband with your concerns and not feel like you're going to be in fight or flight the whole time
Yeah,
kind of
all
thing.
the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you guys have that dialed in. Has there anything, I think you'd said you've been married like 10 years and together
It'll
around
be
4.
9 years this year. Yeah.
Wow. So what is after kids, I guess, what's been the biggest change in your relationship that you've had to, I know you said you have to communicate a ton, but
Yeah.
have you noticed, we talk a lot
Making
about
time for each other.
making time.
Making
That's,
time for each other. Because I'm one that I'm like, I enjoy getting a babysitter, but I get nervous with that. I get nervous with babysitters and finding new people, and like that was part of the reason why I became a stay-at-home mom. Was I want to hang out with my kids, and so I get that mom guilt as well. But he's like, no, we need that time away. So carving out that time, and we have grandparent help minimally. Like my mom lives around the corner, but she's retired doing her own thing. I don't expect her to come, watch my kids whenever I want. But yeah, the
yeah.
carving out of time is something that still is a challenge, and it will continue to be a challenge through the third baby. So yeah,
That's always hard to do. And then you're all,
yeah,
like you said, I think you made a video too about like mom guilt, and there
yes,
was something that I loved. It was so funny. There was a video that you were talking about like mom shaming, mom guilt, and this video of this mom that was like, well, your weekends are your children's
oh
childhood.
God, oh
And
God,
so you were like, well, what if you work all week and you need to get something done on the weekend, or you need some time to yourself on the
yeah,
weekend? Just not
yeah,
having that shame of doing
yes,
something for yourself.
yep,
What's been your experience with other moms or other parents? Because everyone parents so differently. Like, have you had
yeah.
anyone that was that from a personal experience, or just that video that you saw?
Luckily, just that video. I have friends that are like the exact opposite. They're like, the weekend they work full time. So like, I take 2 hours in the morning and we go to the gym as a family, and
Oh,
that's my time for myself. My kids are in the daycare, but then after it's family time. Like, there's nice balances with all my friends. And that just happened to me earlier. Like, I was cleaning up and I saw my kids playing outside. I'm like, oh, I should go out there and go engage with them. And but I'm like, but the top of this fridge is a disaster. Like, I need to get this done. Like, they're fine. It's just like a nice balance of, yeah. But it is hard because you see all
yeah.
these aesthetic moms, on Instagram, and all the little cute quotes, and that you should be, the laundry can wait, but can it though? Like,
Can it really? Who's gonna
really?
do
Yeah,
it?
yeah. And I'm like I said in that video, like our parents, at least mine, my mom, she was a single mom. She had to do it all. So it's like, good luck to you. Have fun. Go play outside. Like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's I
I think
always look at
that
that and
definitely for me, like the constant balance, like you're saying, of you still have that internal mom guilt, I feel like, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what. And so the constant balance of like, I'm working full time right now. I tried the stay at home mom thing. It wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then having that guilt because I don't spend a lot of time with them. And then, like you said, trying to get the time with my husband, trying to
Yep.
do things for me. It just, there's never enough time
hard
in
to
the
balance it
There's
day.
all.
And
not enough time. No. Yeah.
finding a good balance is an ongoing struggle, I think, for
Yes.
But
everybody.
we always talk about
Oh
anyone
my
who's
gosh.
a stay-at-home mom. I feel like it's so undervalued, or people don't appreciate what stay-at-home
Mm-hmm.
moms go through.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's incredible. Like the
Yes.
amount of work that you're doing, like the overstimulation.
The overstimulation.
It's just, and people come at you. We both were stay-at-home moms for a bit, and they're like, "Well, what do you do all day?" Or, what do you mean, what do you do all day?
Yeah. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. But on the
So
same
we're
token, like it's once again, I don't know how working moms do it either. They're both. Everything is hard. Everything is hard.
Yeah.
But it sounds like with you were with a labor and delivery nurse, like that's a
Mm-hmm.
crazy work schedule. Your
Yes.
husband's work schedule is
Yes.
crazy as well with the firefighter. So
Yes.
speaking of that,
Yeah.
how do you balance his schedule? I'm sure it's like last minute notice, and then you're with the
Yes.
kids for long periods of time. What do you
Yes.
guys do that works for you there?
He just worked the last 6 of the 8 days. So we just had like a huge stretch of me just doing like he was home for like maybe one day at a time, then went back to work for two, and then home for one. It's one of those things where I can't dwell on it. Like it's just one I have no say in it. So it's just like I kind
Yeah,
of just dial in and be like, well, here we go. Let's do the
let's do
thing.
it.
Because my husband's asked me that before. He goes, do you get like anxious before I go to work? And I'm like, no, I don't really have a choice. No one else
Yeah.
is here to do it. So this
You
is
just
what I
figure it
wanted
out.
to do, and yeah. So luckily, we're really busy in the week with school and sports and stuff, so the week goes by quickly. The weekends are a doozy, though, let me tell you. But yeah, it's just like a mindset thing for me. As long as I can just be like, oh, here we go, like buckle up, everyone, get through it. But
I
yeah,
love
it
your
is
attitude
difficult.
about it.
I
Yeah.
have to. I was like, I won't survive it. And
Well, I
don't
feel
get me
like that.
wrong. There's some days where I'm like, I don't want to parent at all, and those days are fuck it days. Where we're like, you can watch TV and eat as many snacks as you want. You know?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
obviously your background too, from labor and delivery nurse, that's crazy. That's intense. You just kind of buckle up, do
yes,
it. It kind of obviously translates into the way you approach motherhood and all of that.
yeah.
Um, are there any, and then homeschooling too? Like that's a whole other. We were
Hmm.
actually homeschooled, and we always were like, "Mom, like,
How did you do that?
how did you do that? Like, I just don't
Yeah.
understand. It's so impressive." I just. Do you ever have times where you're like questioning, is this what you really want to do,
You're
or
All the
overloaded.
time.
Yeah.
yeah,
All the time. Luckily, she's just in transitional kindergarten, which is like in California, it's a step below kindergarten. So we're not learning anything astronomical. But I mean, like we are learning to read and stuff like that. That's like
Wow.
valuable. But there's times where she's like not focused, where I'm like, what am I doing with my day? And she's piping off her little mouth, talking. I already know how to do that. I'm like, oh, do you? And like we have a little battle. But then we're both able to, calm down and we're able to get through it. And luckily, she goes to an enrichment program twice a week, which is kind of like a
Oh,
supplement to our homeschool. So she's out of the house for 2 days a week. And so we're just responsible for 3 days a week of homeschool. So it's
that's
not,
not
and my husband is happy to do it if I just give him like what he needs to do and he'll do the teaching too. So
wow.
it's a nice balance. And then if we miss a day, I'm like, oh well, we went to the zoo. The zoo is wonderful. The zoo is where animals are and we'll learn some stuff. And trying
Right.
to not take it so seriously, else I'll burn myself out as well. Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so set your you don't have to go crazy with it. Keep your
No,
expectations at a
we're
good
keeping
level.
it very casual. Yeah, 30 to 45 minutes is all we do. And yeah, we just get it done. Yeah,
Well, she's kindergarten. I mean,
exactly. How much do I need to do? Yeah,
what do you need to do? Like
exactly.
teach them Latin or something?
I know, right? Thank God, no.
Is your goal to continue on, or just kind of like see how it goes with homeschooling?
Your elementary school, unless obviously something changes in the time being, but like we don't really have a goal in mind for how long, just seeing how it goes. Like if she's happy and we're happy and everyone's thriving and we'll keep going. The flexibility is just unmatched. I'm sure you guys remember from homeschool, you can just, yeah, there's just a lot of, yeah, with our
There's a
schedules,
lot
it's
of
good that
perks and
way.
upsides to it, and yeah,
Yes. Yes.
And I'm sure a lot of other people, we always got other people's opinions too on the homeschooling. Oh, they're not going to be able to be
Oh my God, all the
socialized.
time. The
You know,
grandparents, the boomers,
yeah. Oh
they be
gosh.
talking. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
how do you deal with all the unsolicited parenting advice? You're just like, I don't care.
Well, especially, yeah, I'm like, well, it's lucky that you're not raising these kids. Like, you guys, you guys aren't like, I love all the grandparents in our life, but like, none of them are that actively involved that they should have a strong opinion, if that makes sense. Like, they're
Yeah.
involved, but like, not in the day-to-day life. So you get
Right.
this much of a say in what I do. Yeah, yeah,
Now, since you're such a like a public figure, and I'm sure people have a lot to say on Instagram or TikTok, or there's just a lot of outside feedback too that adds a whole new dynamic to people's criticism or
uh-huh.
embracing what you're doing. How do you take all that positivity, negativity, and not let it impact you? Because you just kind of seem like you're you and you're confident in you, and how
And
do
you
you
stay
kind of
that way.
filter it all out?
Yeah, well, like the negativity, I feel like a lot of my videos could be interpreted as a form of, shaming. Everyone loves to bring the mom shame into things, and everyone has their opinion on everything, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I'm also entitled to my own opinion. And so I try and not let those negative comments get to me, because I'm just like, that's their thoughts, and no one ever really attacks me too harshly. I don't, you have the occasional troll come in with body comments and things like that, but I'm just like, fuck you. I don't care. You
Yeah.
just kind of gotta let it roll off. And the positive, everyone
The
is so
positive
sweet with
way.
their messages, and like, oh my God, endless amounts. And then public, since starting Instagram, I get approached probably 4 or 5 times in a week out in public,
What?
which is so funny. And I don't know what to do. I'm like, oh, do you want me to kiss your baby? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just like,
I'll
I'm
sign your
so
baby's
awkward.
forehead.
I had a mom the other day come up to me, and then she messaged me later, and she's like, I was so awkward. I'm like, I was so awkward. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, it's very sweet. Yeah.
It's so nice though. You're making such an impact. I feel
Right.
like on other
Yeah.
moms being able to be like, "Oh my gosh, I've experienced that. Like that makes me feel better that you're going
Yeah.
through that too. No one's talking about that. Like you're really
Hmm.
making such a positive impact on motherhood. Like we have people other than our friends that have sent us your videos and you're like, "See, that's exactly what I'm talking about." So it's
Yeah.
really amazing that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's
Well,
nice. It's nice to be able to let people resonate with it and relate to
Yeah.
it. And yeah. Yeah.
It's so relatable. That's the thing. Like everything you
Yeah.
say is so spot on. It's really it's awesome.
I'm
I was
glad. I'm
laughing
glad.
today because I came across your like grocery putting away your grocery cart saga. It seemed
Uh,
like that wasn't even that big of a like you wouldn't think it would be controversial, but it seemed like it was like super controversial.
that was a lot. Yeah. That's that. I don't even talk about it anymore, because I'm like, that's like, the horse is dead. People know where I stand on it really hard. So like, yeah. But that one was, people were mad about that one for
I
sure.
actively think about it now as I'm putting my cart away.
Like, oh
I'm
I
my
like
gosh, he
know.
said.
Yeah.
all the situations
I've
that
sent
have come up.
people send me pictures all the time of them like selfieing, like, put your card away, and I'm like, yep, yep, let's do it, let's do it.
Um, that leads me to so I think moms get all this scrutiny on them. If you were to say if dads were scrutinized as much as moms, what do you think people would criticize the most? If they didn't put their shopping cart away, it probably wouldn't be a big deal.
Oh no, no, they would have some bylaws against it at that
Yep.
point. Like they would have someone like following them out every single time they go and taking it from them. And that's so funny, because I was talking to my husband the other day. I'm like, you guys have nothing in your life, no significant event in your life like pregnancy or postpartum, that you have to commit 9+ months to. He was having a beer, I think, and I was like, this isn't fair. Like, you've never had to give up beer for 9 months plus. Like, this is bunch of crap. And it's true though. Like, they don't know that, like, sacrifice and like the things
Yes.
that we do, kind of thing. Yeah.
That's very
Well, then
that's
your
true.
your body like that really like your body after it. And
Yeah.
I was talking about this with our friend the other day, and I was just like the commitment to having
Yeah.
children. Like obviously, it's a miracle, it's a blessing, and that's what we want to do.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
the mom experience and the dad experience is just
So
two
different.
completely different things, and they can't
Yeah.
help that. It's not
No.
a bad thing, but like that's why the support is so important, because they don't understand what you're going through. They don't
No.
understand the body changes, the
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
the hormones, the breastfeeding, and all of that. It's just like
It's a whole
so
thing,
all encompassing.
and forever, forever change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does
Hmm.
not come back. When you
No.
sneeze, you just pee, and it
Yeah.
just is. I
It's
like I
the
want to
pelvic
make
floor is never the same.
right. I just want to know like how do you not pee when you sneeze? That's one of
Yeah.
my questions.
Those lucky men.
Yeah, Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what are some things that you always talk about, all these things that I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily talk about. What are
Hmm.
some things that you as a like if you were a new mom, what do you wish someone would have told you?
Oh man. You don't need to Google as much. I Googled so much with my first. Like the Google was like my best friend. Everything needs to be Googled. But I mean, postpartum anxiety was not going to let me do anything different. Um, as a first time mom, I mean, you're going to figure it out. You're not going to figure it out day one. Breastfeeding is, while natural, not the most natural thing in the world, and that's
Yeah.
completely okay. Um, and whatever way you choose to raise your kid is your choice, and no one else has any say in it because they're not the one doing it for you, you know? Um, but you're going to figure it out. It's going to take a little time, like with anything. But you'll figure it out. And it's not the end of the world if you feel, you know, that you're at your wit's end. That happens all the time in the confessions that I do. The moms are like, I'm not doing, like, you are in the postpartum thick of it. Like, you can't see your way out yet, but you will get there, kind of thing, you know? Um, but just keep taking, you know, day at a time, and then find someone, a friend, a group that you can like rely on to like spill the goods, you know, anything you got, any questions you have. The village, if you will. I don't really know if the village really exists, but yeah, yeah.
I think some people have a good village and that helps.
Some people really do have a good village. Yeah, yeah,
As long as you have someone that's there supporting, then that's what you need.
exactly. Yes,
I
yeah,
like what you said a lot. That was really great.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think the adjustment is the biggest thing, and we always kind of talk about what was the hardest, 1 to 2, 0 to 1, and I think it's
yeah.
both. It's just really hard all
It's
around, no
all
matter what.
hard.
It's all
Yeah,
hard, and then when you have
yes,
people with 4 kids, they're like, "Ah, you got 2 kids? That's a
yeah.
walk in the
That's
park."
crazy.
I
That's a
know, but it's still hard.
but
Yeah,
yeah, it's all
exactly.
so incredibly hard, and we have
Yes.
a friend that's like in the thick of the postpartum everything right now, and we're removed. Our youngest are
18 months, I
yeah,
think.
I don't can't, yeah,
Hmm.
lost track,
Yeah,
lost track.
yeah,
But yeah, we're kind of removed from it now, watching her go through it and being like, like I feel you,
yeah,
girl. I just
yeah.
wish
Right.
I could, you know,
Yeah, there's only so much you can do from the outside other than, yeah,
yeah.
you offer your help where it's needed. And yeah, it's hard though.
One of my also one of my also favorite videos that you did was unexpected toddler grievances.
That was like great.
You hit those
Yeah,
all on the head. What
yeah.
is the most unhinged thing that your toddler has done recently?
Oh God.
Everything.
Oh,
Every day.
I'm like literally trying to narrow one down. He is just certifiable in the best way. He's like a Sour Patch Kid to like tea, like so sweet but so sour. Um, he's
Kids would
been
get
doing.
along.
He looks like he's gonna break his neck about every single day when he does things. But we have a wall ladder in our, and he
Yes.
just climbs that thing, and he looks so bizarre doing it because he's just so small. Let me try and think of a good one because there's a million. Recently, or at softball today, he was playing with the water fountain the entire time. He was soaking wet with 50 degrees, and I was like, that's fine. You do you. Like, who am I to say? But it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to narrow down. I wish I had a good story lined up for that one. I'll try and
Well, it's
think of
hard.
one
We
though.
put you on the spot for sure.
Yeah, I'll think of one because there's a lot. Yeah,
Kids sports, I think at this age
Oh
are
gosh.
really like it's just you're introducing them to it. But hey, if they
I
lay in the field and roll around for the whole practice,
he hasn't done anything. That's the one thing I like. With my first, we did so many parent participation things, and with my second, I'm like, I know better. Not doing
right.
that. Yeah, you get swim lessons and gymnastics, and like we do like a parent and me gymnastics, but like no, no more than that.
That's
Yeah,
enough. Like that's
Yes.
it is
plenty.
enough. And he's a
And
road dog for his sister. You know, we go to all her events and he plays. But yeah, yeah, no parent participation for me.
I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, she took her daughter to like her first golf lesson,
Oh
and she
gosh.
was telling me like you're not supposed to be right up in there with the they're supposed to be
Yeah,
learning,
you let them do
Yeah.
the
let them do their thing. And so she said there was a 4-year-old and the parents were like right up in there with the chairs, like the lounge chairs and everything. And this mom was literally yelling at her 4-year-old
Oh
to
man.
give
pick
him.
up the intensity
Oh yeah.
in golf.
I feel like that's me. I feel like that is me. My husband did say that today at softball this morning because we had a softball game this morning. He's like, I'm actually kind of glad you're not a chill mom because I'm super competitive. I was like, get your elbow up. She's 5. Like, that's me. I am
Get
such
in
a
there.
highly competitive person.
Yes.
We
Like,
are too. We get
We're
that.
we're
makes
kind of
sense.
worried because we played collegiate sports, and so we're both like extremely
Yes.
competitive, and so we're like,
You have
I
to
don't know if
step
I'm going to
back
be
a
able to
bit.
go to the games. Like if
You
somebody
just
like,
yell. You just, I'm a yeller. I'm like, get ready, get your club down. Like, it's a whole thing.
Now,
Like, I
did
go
you
talk
play
to her in the
softball?
dugout. She's 5. She doesn't need a pep talk, but I'm just like, keep your eye on the ball.
yes,
You know?
yes.
Yeah, I'm not chill. I'm zero chill. Yeah.
Love it.
That's really assuring for me because I
Yeah.
didn't see it
Just
either.
let her rip. You know,
Yeah,
it's fine.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Were you a softball player?
I mean, I played, dabbled. This is more of my husband's side of things. I'm swimming and water polo. I played water
Oh,
polo in
cool.
college. So,
Oh my
but we
gosh.
joined a swim team, so we get to do my stuff this summer. But yeah, baseball and softball is more my husband's thing. I played a brief stint in 7th grade. I was the best slow pitcher in the league. But yeah, no.
Claim to fame.
Yeah.
Now, water
Yeah.
polo is like
That's
really
amazing.
challenging. Like I would drown. So
I would drown now too. Don't worry.
How did you get into water polo?
I swam my whole life since 5 years old. My husband always makes fun of me for saying age 5. 5 years old. And then in high school, my brother started playing. He's 2 years older than me, and I kind of just followed in that footstep. And
Wow.
yeah, went to college and played, and it was a good time.
that is
Yeah.
so cool.
I don't
You
think
got to
I've
be
been.
aggressive for sure.
Oh,
Water polo,
yes.
yeah. And then you
Lots
don't
of
even
pulling.
see what's going on. I was talking to somebody, but they're like, you don't even see what's going on. Like
There's
it's
a lot.
Getting
way,
attacked.
yeah, it's crazy.
There's a lot going on under. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good for you. I'm even more impressed with you now.
yeah.
You shouldn't be. Don't worry.
I think you one of my other you talked about this too. You share a lot of like inner thoughts.
Hmm.
And you did a video about other people's inner thoughts that
Just
should have
say
stayed
inner.
inner thoughts. Like, and we really related to that, especially, older men that comment about your pregnancy.
Yes.
What are some of your inner thoughts that also should have stayed inner? Or do you have anything you haven't really shared that you're like, this is a
You
inner thought?
know, I have so many inner thoughts. And I do share, I think I share a majority of them. That's my problem. I have
Yeah,
none
no,
left to
I think
have in
it's
my,
great.
I don't really have any off the top of my head that I haven't shared. I'm like trying
Like,
to think.
you'll
But
refer to my videos.
Yeah, just watch my videos.
yeah,
Like,
I was like, they're all out there. I mean, yeah, the carts, shopping carts, that's an inner thought, but that one's going to come out. Yeah, I don't really have an exact one that I haven't talked about. I'll
Yeah.
keep that one
I
in
think
the
I'm
thinker
working
too.
on not sharing. Like I don't ever like go you tell people, outwardly like, oh gosh, like you look big pregnant, right? Like
Yeah.
nothing like that, obviously. But there's just so
Who
many
would do
comment.
that?
No, no.
Everybody does that though. There's so
Yeah.
many people that say that.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
Like,
do.
you look like you're gonna pop tomorrow.
You don't know my due date. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's some crazy things to say, for sure.
No, and I do think it is definitely like, oh, we've talked about a little bit about like some strange comments we started getting ever since, you become a mom. You just open yourself up to strange
Yeah.
comments, I think, by
Yeah.
people, and you just start thinking of like, was there anything I said that was like offensive to other people? But I don't think so, because you're just like a normal person that like
Yeah,
wouldn't.
you'd like to think. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wouldn't say that.
yeah,
Yeah.
you would like to think. Right? I don't know.
Right.
I hope not. I hope not.
Now, what are your kids' age gaps? You said you have a kindergartner or pre-kindergarten.
5-year-old and a 2. They're 2 years 9 months apart, and then this baby in the middle will be 2 years 7 months. So,
Okay.
which
Wow.
is a great age gap. I wouldn't change that one.
Yeah.
It's a good
You
one.
like
Yeah,
that? You're both
I
about the
do.
same gap. Yeah.
I do like it. Yeah, because they're kind of independent a little bit, that you can, nurse a baby without them freaking out, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good age gap.
I
Yeah.
think that's what we were talking about too the other day. We were like, gosh, everybody's like, oh, I love a really close age gap because when they
Uh,
get older, they're so close. And that's, we weren't trying, either of us weren't trying for a second, but it just kind of happened. And mine are 20 months apart and yours are
Like 22, I think.
22
Yeah.
months apart. And I don't know, I feel like that's too close of an age gap.
Yeah.
And I really wish I would have
Waited
waited
a little.
longer.
They're still very reliable on you at that
Yeah,
point,
my daughter's
and
just
it's
like
yeah,
cling
clingy.
on.
Yep. Yeah.
And so I think that over
Well,
like 2.5 years would be good.
yeah. I think the 2 under 2 is romanticized a lot, and some people do really want that age gap. It's nothing that I desire to have, but yeah, people love to have that one. That's just a lot of work. Their sleeping's changed. They're like, yeah, it's just the whole thing. Yeah.
Now, you also said, I think, talking about sleeping, you said that you slept trained your first one, I think, and not the second one.
Yes.
And your first one has sleep issues. I had a
Yes.
very similar experience.
Yes.
So you're not going to sleep train your third one, I would assume.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no. And my oldest is in bed with me every single night. Like she starts off in her own bed, but by
Yeah.
midnight we're snuggling all night long, which is fine. I don't mind that. And then my youngest, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I wasn't sure if it was because he was a boy. I don't think it was that. I just could not do it. And so
I
I
had
never
the same
I
thing.
never
Yeah.
did it. I never did it.
It's great.
And now as in toddlerhood, like if he's like refusing a nap, I'll let him whine about it for a little bit, but never as like a baby. I could not do the crying. I couldn't. I don't know what it was.
It's
And
like
he's a better sleeper now than his sister is. So yeah,
that's weird
it's a
how
crapshoot.
it works.
Well, they
Yeah,
don't tell you sleep training. You have to like re-sleep train over the years. Like it never. It's a
uh-huh.
retraining thing. Yeah, and
That's
it gets
it's a
harder when they're
constant.
older, and it's
Yeah.
just not. Yeah, and it's great for a lot of people. You need to do it. Some people, especially like working moms that have to get up in the morning and deal with work, and if they're not sleeping, that's dangerous. So like I totally understand the circumstances where people have to sleep train and people advocate for it, and that works for their family. But yeah, it wasn't for me. My husband was on the opposite spectrum. He's like, let's sleep train that kid, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I was like, you don't really have a say in it. I'm sorry because you're not up with him. Like I'm up with him. So
Right.
yeah, yeah,
But I feel like too, like if you there's people like me, we did the sleep training thing, but
yeah.
you have to continue to do it, and it didn't necessarily work because now our toddler
No.
is we've done a toddler sleep training program too, and she's still in bed with us. So, um,
Yes.
yeah, it's not
When you kind of
necessarily.
just give it up and you're like, they're not
You're
going
just
to
like
be in our
whatever.
bed forever. Yeah.
Here we
Yeah,
are.
exactly. Yeah.
We'll just
I'm
roll
not
with
sure
it.
what I'm doing with the baby when it comes, but as far as my daughter being, I've kind of started, I don't have the heart to kick her out of my bed. I'm like, this is where she feels safe with me. So I've been just trying to be like, she likes to snuggle. Like we be snuggling all night long. So I've been trying to tell her like, we need some space. You may need some space because I have to feed a baby, in the middle of the night. So you can stay in my bed with me, but you have to be over on your own pillow kind of thing. So we'll see.
So
She
cute.
sounds so cute.
She's very cute. She's very sweet. But yeah,
You have
she's
the
not going to
really
like that
sweet
change.
girl, and then the terrorist boy.
Yes.
I feel like you
Yes.
have two terrorists.
You have a sweet girl.
I have a sweet girl, and my son is really sweet
Yeah.
too. Honestly, they're both really sweet, and they're. I had an issue with like a lot of meltdowns with my daughter. She's like the sweetest, 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 but she just
Very
had
sensitive.
meltdown central. She's so sensitive.
Yeah.
And my son, he's just really sweet, and he just kind of like chills and hangs out. But then he's kind of crazy too because he's a boy. But
Yes.
yeah, it's just
Boy.
interesting the different dynamics, the different
Oh yeah.
personality of kids, and
Yes.
adapting to that and everything. Just motherhood's wild.
They're all different. All of them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was just like so excited to talk to you because
We were so pumped to talk to you. We're not kidding. You're one of our heroes.
yeah,
Oh,
no,
good. Oh, there you go.
everything that you say is just like so spot on. I think it's also important to laugh, and you lose that a lot. Like humor, like I'm just not a funny
We're not
person,
funny, no.
and so finding somebody that's relatable, that's also able to make it funny, and uplifting content. It's awesome. So we were just really, really excited to get to talk to you, ask you some questions, and I feel like this has been awesome.
Well, I'm glad we could make it happen.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I mean, with everything you have going on, it must be
Yeah, how
really
did you
hard.
fit it into your schedule?
We had softball and then we had a lull in the morning, so it worked out. It worked out. And luckily my husband was home from work, else we would have
Great, yeah,
had like 9 interruptions. But yeah.
Yeah, do you have you have the kids or the husbands there?
Yes, exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Good. Well,
We
yeah,
sent ours out, so we were like,
Yeah.
we gotta go. We gotta go.
they'd
Yeah.
be screaming for sure.
Oh, my question was, since we've been in the thick of it with daycare,
Oh,
because
there you
we
go.
sent
Oh, yeah.
our kids, we had a nanny, then, a stay-at-home mom nanny, and then now we have our kids in full-time daycare. And we have just been sick since October when we put them in full-time daycare.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips and tricks for like staying healthy, or is
You
that
did
just
a video.
thing?
You did a video on that
Yeah.
of
Oh,
moms that were they were like,
Yes.
"Stay healthy this way."
Okay.
And she goes, "Well, they just coughed into my mouth."
I wish I could say there was anything you could do, but it's just one of those things where if you're around, you're not going to not comfort your kid when they're like sick. You're exposed.
No.
You can try all the sprays and it's going to happen though eventually.
Yeah.
There's really I feel for the parents that have to deal with that during like the peak cold and flu season. They're like, I've been sick for 9 weeks straight.
Yes.
Yeah, that's hard.
And
Um,
then our kids are just sick too, and you walk in
yeah,
there and you're like, well, I get why everyone's sick because there's just
everyone's
fevers.
coughing and
Yeah,
yeah, that's it's just, yeah, a lot of germs and the kids are so
yeah,
disgusting. Yeah.
yeah. You're
I wish I
going to
had a,
a lot of like you're going to different classes and stuff like the
yeah,
sports, so your kids are around a lot of things too.
yes. And all my friends' kids are in daycare too, and that's who we interact with. So I'm fine
Yeah,
with the colds. I'm fine hanging out with the colds. But if you gave my kids norovirus and you didn't tell me that you had it, that's like
we're
that's
we're gonna
done.
have
wild.
some
Never
problems. Or
see you
hand, foot,
again.
mouth. Don't even bring it around here. Yeah, no.
You had
But yeah,
in Texas for
Yeah,
a while there, yeah.
yeah,
it's
we
horrible.
no,
That was
that
the
was
sickest my
brutal.
daughter has been. Yeah, that was horrible.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they're just always sick. It's just it is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Roll with
Luckily,
it.
I can't remember the statistic they say, but like when you put them in daycare, and it's like a building thing, so they'll be really sick for a little bit, and then they won't be that much sick after. So
So
their immune
eventually it'll stop.
systems,
That's
it
what.
won't stop, but it'll teeter down.
Okay.
You know, it'll
Okay.
yeah,
All
the
right.
immune systems as they're getting used to these disgusting germs from all these children. Yeah, it'll yeah, all the
Yeah.
snot.
Around.
Seriously, I'm forever like popping vitamin C. My husband's like, I don't think that matters, like it's just, and
My
I'm like,
husband swears for elderberry syrup,
Oh,
but
mm,
really?
and he actually doesn't really ever get sick, which is funny. But I
Okay,
can't
so
take that when I'm pregnant, so I'm just like, But yeah, I've heard him. According to him, it works, and he never gets sick, which is rude. So
I'm
yeah,
just gonna go out and get it because I'm looking
yeah,
for all the things. Yeah.
yeah. Try it out.
What has there been anything that's been the most difficult thing for you adjusting to parenting and motherhood? What would you say has been more challenging than you expected it to be?
Knowing that your time is really not your time anymore. Like it is. You can find time to carve out for yourself, but like things that you used to enjoy, you can't always enjoy in the same capacity. Like there's other people involved, and that's not to say you can't have your hobbies and your you know, your thing, but it's difficult to do that. And that was a hard adjustment to be like, okay, well, that thing that I used to like to do once a week is more going to be like a once every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks kind of thing. Um, some weeks are better than others, maybe you're able to do it, but it's just that the sharing your time thing. And that, for my husband, that's difficult too. Like not being able to do the things you want to do. It sounds selfish, but like at the same time, it's
Yeah.
completely changed when you have a family. Yeah.
You no longer,
Have as much time for
have
yourself,
as
yeah.
It's not about you. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard.
Since you are so hilarious, do you have a funny parenting story that you haven't shared? I'm sure you probably shared it online, but
Ugh,
is there anything
let me
top of your
think.
head?
There's so many potty training ones.
oh my
Potty
gosh.
training is just the worst. Um, Man, I'm trying to think. Oh,
I
my mom, or my daughter, she's, like I said, the sassy. She's so sassy, so very sweet, but very, very sassy. And some of the things she says, I have trouble holding it in. I'm like, that was actually really fucking funny. But what did she say to my mom? My mom was over, and my mom said something, and she looked over at my mom. She said, "Okay, Kelsey's mom," and I was like, don't say that, but that was actually fucking hilarious.
Okay,
Or
Kelsey.
like one time my husband was, I don't know if he was disciplining her, but he was like telling her something. She goes, "Okay, big guy," and walks away. And I was like, like, it's just so funny. Yeah, she's got it going on there. But yeah, those
She sounds
those
very
ones get
witty.
me.
Oh
She's
my
she,
god.
she says some funny shit. Yeah. And being able to keep a face, like I was around the corner
Yeah.
dying, but I'm just like,
Yes.
not okay.
Yeah, how do you discipline that? You're like, okay, that was
That's
good.
great.
That
That's
was
That's
good.
gold.
that's one of the things I wasn't prepared for is like listening to sometimes how they talk to my husband and not laughing. I'm just like, you guys are so fucking funny. Like they're just like schooling him, and I'm like, oh god, oh god. And the same thing happens to me. I can hear him chuckling out there where they're like talking back to me, and yeah, that's a nice part of parenting with someone that you actually enjoy being married to.
Yeah.
Like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Enjoy those funny moments together.
yeah, yeah.
Gosh.
Is there anything that before you had kids, you said you'd never do as a parent, and then you do it all the time now, or
All the time. Bed sharing. Yeah, I never thought I would co-sleep with my kid, but I don't know why I say that because I was in my mom's bed until I was like 10 years old. So
yep.
even at sleepovers, like my best friend, grew up across the street from me, and when I was like 6, I'd go over for sleepovers, and I would leave her, and when she fell asleep, and I'd go sleep in bed with her mom. It's like, can I come
Aww.
in? And she
Yeah.
just found that out like 3 years ago. She goes, "You used to sleep with my mom?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Just want to hang out with someone.
yeah,
Yeah.
I need snuggles."
Need all the love.
Yes, yes.
I'm thinking of a couple more
I
questions.
know you're
Sorry.
just going for it.
Because I love your responses on everything. Is there anything you'd change that is like a unrealistic expectation of motherhood? You know, people have the perfect mom standard or a parenting trends like that. Is there anything that you would like? What do you think is an unrealistic expectation people have?
Um, what I always talk about was like the like don't worry about the chores in the house and don't worry about this because for a lot of us those are triggers for our own stress and anxiety if they're not done. So if you're not taking care of the things that help you de-stress, how can you enjoy your time with your family? And like the guilt behind that, like they're only young for 18 years and like but there's still stuff that needs to happen in those 18 years, you know, and like one day of them playing outside just with them and their brother by themselves isn't it, that's wonderful for them, letting them be bored, kind of that kind of thing. And like
Right.
I feel like today it's just that everything is very like you need to have a schedule for them, you need to have something fun planned every single day, and it's like that's not realistic for a lot of people. And
Yeah.
yeah, that whole narrative always gives me a little irk, a little
Yeah.
that's not, and it makes people feel bad about how they're parenting when you see that kind of stuff. You're like, well, we had to do chores all day, so I didn't get to really play with my kid. Now I'm a horrible parent, but at the same time, your kid has a nice clean home. They have laundry, they have food to eat because you got all that
Right.
stuff done. So
And you
yeah,
feel better that your house is clean, you know?
Well, yeah.
and
I
that's
mean, your
important
life.
because you can't enjoy your time if you're like stressed, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Your life doesn't
Hmm.
stop, and if there's stuff everywhere, you're like,
Yeah.
I gotta do something. So sending them
Yeah.
outside is not a bad thing.
Exactly.
I think that's
Yeah.
better for them to be bored sometimes and not
It
constantly
it
have
Yeah.
yes.
like
They
different from this parenting generation, I think, as you mentioned
Yeah.
from
We
the
were
last
always
one.
bored. Yeah.
yeah,
I remember being
being
bored.
bored is good. They've proven it time and time again. Yeah.
Get more
Yep.
creative and learn new things, and instead of always having to do something and be somewhere.
Things
You
to
Yes.
build.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Well, I think I'm out of rapid fire questions for you. So much. It was so
Yeah.
awesome to get to meet you and get your take on things, and we really appreciate everything. And I think everyone listening will really love everything that you had to say, and we'll send them to your Instagram if they haven't seen it to go check out your videos. So
Well,
Yes.
thank you. Thanks for having me.
yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Have a great rest
You
of your
guys
day.
have, you too. See you guys
Okay.
later. Bye.